All right, here we go. Here we go. Another video coming to you from your boy Chatsky. Appreciate everybody hanging out, taking a look at this video. Today, we are going to talk all infantry pairings, okay? All the different circumstances, all the different things that you see and that you might have. I'm going to try to do it for everybody. Regardless of what commanders you have, you get an idea of what the best is to run, okay? And I'm also going to give you a march that I think is going to be the best march in the open field in the game. We're going to talk all about that. If you like all the videos, guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out all the rest of the videos I've been able to put out. Love pumping out these videos for everybody, and doing some streams over the weekend was great. The response and the feedback has been fantastic. Can't thank everybody enough. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get into it right now. Okay, we're in game. Okay, we've got some things we got to look at. We're going to bring up the commanders. Okay, and we're going to bring up a tier list, and we're going to go through this kind of one by one. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the best marches in the games for infantry. This is all infantry, all based. I've been playing infantry a long time, and I'm just telling you, there's all kinds of different ways to run it and set it up. Okay, and I'm unique because I do a lot of smite. And so if I'm just a regular player and I have unlimited commanders, or if I'm missing certain commanders, here's what you run, here's what you don't run. So let's just go through it, shall we? We'll bring up the tier list. We got all of our infantry players down at the bottom, our marches or our commanders. And we're going to go ahead and do a little title here. So this is one march. Okay, this is one march. This is the one march you want to use. And this is what's going to happen. If you have unlimited, one march, the best infantry pairing you can have is going to be Ragnar. Put him up there with CPO. Okay, that is not only going to be the best infantry march in the game, that's going to be the best open field march in the game November 2nd, 2024. We don't have the new Cav Commander yet. That's supposed to be coming out maybe next month, but this is it. When Ragnar finally comes out, this is going to be the best open field march in the game. And let me explain to you why, okay? This march has absolutely everything. You don't even really think about it until you actually go through and look at the actual skills. First of all, CPO, we already know what he does. He debuffs 30% health on 3 targets for 3 seconds. Okay, that's insane, all right? He's got good damage, obviously, with the 3 targets. He is bringing a lot of attack. He's got infantry march speed. He's got more triggered march speed off territory, which is amazing. And so 25% march speed, that's great. So now you got some speed. He brings some health. He brings additional damage factor. Okay, there's all kinds of things he does there. Additional damage factor is going to be a big deal. And I'll explain why here in just a bit. He does a damage reduction, obviously. He grants a shield. Shields are great for all your friends. So he debuffs over here. He grants shields over here. And then his expertise, if you do get a silence, you gain rage 30% faster. That comes into play later on, okay? Because you've got a silence coming from Guan, and he's actually going to give you some skill damage. So he does everything you want him to do. Fast, hits hard, debuffs, helps with the shields and everything. So CPO still to this day, this is a skill damage march, okay? Ragnar's gonna be the other one paired with him, okay? You go into his expertise here, you're doing 2,200 damage factors, more than CPO, more than Guan, more than Joan on the three target AoE. That's massive, but this is the kicker here, okay? We talked about this. You get 300 damage factor to the 3 targets you hit for 2 seconds. That's 1,800 damage factor. And that is not being reduced for the targets that you hit. Okay, so that's just a straight 1,800. He's doing red numbers everywhere. We got a sneak peek of him in the game. If you used him in Canyon, you know this. Red numbers just start flying everywhere. Okay, and the additional damage, you can use some of the different talents on this. Hold on, we'll go in here and we'll look at the talents. What do we have here for Ragnar? I believe we have, he is on the skill basis, which I love. Okay, so we'll come up here and work off of a skill commander to kind of get an idea. So this right here is latent power. Everybody's always said when to use it, when not to use it, but all of a sudden now you have 1,800 per skill cycle. 1,800 additional damage that Ragnar does. Plus you have CPO's additional damage. So latent power will be something that can actually be used and be busted, okay, to help that additional damage, okay? Ragnar CPO is going to be your best single march, period. And he's gonna be the best in that combination is gonna be the best single march in the game when he releases. Trust me. I promise you, that's going to be the case. Everybody's going to rave about it. He does absolutely everything. It's everything you could ever want. So for infantry specifically, that's your one top march. If you could have anybody and you got one march to go to fight with, that's it. Okay. The second one for me is pretty simple because I'm a smite guy and I love it. It's going to be Wallace and Luce. Okay. Wallace and Luce absolutely do great work. It does everything. It's smite based. If you have arch formation stuff, which a lot of people do, it's really, really good. It's not that far off from this one. Okay. But this is a pure, crazy, nasty march. Okay. It does some crazy, crazy stuff. Okay. So I'm going to actually add a couple of Luces in here because you gotta be able to put Luce in multiple positions. Okay. So that's going to be your second best infantry march, hands down, no problem. Okay, the third best march, and I'm going to add, let me see, I'm going to add CPO in here as well again. Okay, so your third best march is going to be a CPO Luce. Okay, that's the third best march you can get. I think people love it, they run it, it's crazy. And then the fourth best march for infantry. And if you guys are starting to see a theme here, you can kind of tell that there's a reason why that you are seeing this is because you're going to have Luce with Alex. I think that's your fourth best march you could do. I think it's amazing. And then from there, you can run Guan with Luce. You can run you can run Gorgo with Luce. You can run Guan with CPO. You can put him down here. And those are all good marches as well, okay? But these are the top four. Let's just figure that out. What's the top four single marches? Like you're just running one march. This is the ranking of how good these marches are. Now, honestly, I think when you get into this, you might see something like this come up, where maybe Luce with Alex comes down here, and maybe a Guan with Ragnar is going to be your fourth best march, okay? And we'll talk about that later, but we'll leave Guan up here, and then also you might have Ragnar with Alex. That might be a little bit better than Luce Alex. I don't necessarily think so, but those are some of the things you can think about. So regardless, that gives you your four best marches, I think, for infantry. Luce's in three of them. So what's that telling everybody? Telling everybody you can go ham and get Ragnar CPO and have the best march, not only for infantry, but I think is going to be the best march in the game in open field, or you just go get Luce because Luce is going to be involved with somebody. That's how powerful he is. Okay. And just remember, the Wallace Luce isn't that far off from these two. Okay. And Wallace Luce is arguably right now without Ragnar is arguably the best march in the game. It really is. Okay. So that's kind of our first one, if you will. Okay, the second one we're going to go to, let's see here, is going to be, we're going to go here. So everybody can take screenshots of this. Unlimited one march, okay? That's what we talked about for single march. That's what we're doing, and that's what you've got, okay? Unlimited two marches, okay? So now you have unlimited commanders, all right? And you got two marches. So that's what I think you go with right there. The top two, there you go. That's what I would run every time, okay? So if you're going to run a three march combo, this is where it gets interesting, okay? You've got unlimited three marches. Okay, so now we're unlimited, but we've got to take three marches. What's going to be the next? How are you going to pair these together, okay? If you do decide to go more skill-based, okay, you're going to keep Guan on the field. You're going to put Ragnar behind Guan, okay? This will bump this march as your best one, and then you're going to pull CPO down with Alex. And you're going to bring Alex off the bench. You run CPO with Alex, and you run Ragnar behind Guan. Always got to be behind Guan. But it gives Guan some much-needed tankiness with 40% defense. Also, Ragnar's got some good march speed, and it's going to hit like a Mack truck. Okay? It's going to hit pretty hard. So if you're using three infantry marches, skill-based, I will say, those are the marches you use. If you want to go more smite-based, okay, then you simply do this. You pull this up there. You pull this down. You're going to pull Luce down here. You're going to take Guan off the field. And then you're going to do this right here. Okay, and out of that, these two are going to be your best march. And then I think Luce Alex will be your second best march. And then you're going to run Wallace with Gorgo. Okay, don't fall into the Gorgo track that she's got to be primary because she's got a rage reduction. You can put her primary and that's fine, but the smite tree is just too good. Okay, the smite tree and what it does, especially with Gorgo, as you're running Gorgo with William Wallace. Okay, let me just find the smite tree here. Some of these things over here on the smite tree are just completely out of control. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's just look at it. All right. This is the one here. Whenever the commander's troops does any type of smite damage, all troops hit by the damage lose 45% range. That's massive, especially when William Wallace is doing AoE, okay? You're adding so much smite over here. This main thing, troop deals anytime the smite, there's a 30% chance of damage will be increased by 10%. That's great. All the different things that smite does is absolutely busted, okay? And so along with that, and Gorgo, you've got this skill over here. Where is it? Damage increase. Okay. Damage factor greater than 1,000. There's an 80% that damage is increased by 40%. Holy geez. And a cooldown of 10 seconds. Okay. So that's going to happen every other skill cycle. It's either going to happen when he lays down his big AoE damage that he's got, or it's going to be when Gorgo lays down her big single target damage. Okay. So it is a massive, massive deal. Okay. So with that, that's where I'm going to put, if you want to go more smite, okay, this is more smite on the 3 March Unlimited, okay? So as we reviewed that, that's what you get, okay? So let's pull everybody down here. Let's go to the next one, all right? And the reason why I'm doing this is so you guys can literally screenshot the video and kind of go with how that works, and you can screenshot it, share it with everybody, and do all the things. Okay, you don't have Ragnar. You want to go 2 marches, okay? Ragnar with 2 marches. Let's think about this for a second. I think when you do that, the 2 best marches you can still put on the field is really no change. I think it's Luce with William Wallace, and then I think it's Guan, where's he at, with CPO. Those are your 2 best marches without Ragnar that you can put on the field. Okay, still to this day, without Ragnar in the game yet, this is the best 2 infantry marches you can put out, I think. And I think it works really, really well. If you like smite, you can definitely take this off. You can definitely run Luce with him, and then you can put Gorgo up here if you want to. Okay, so that's kind of how that stuff works. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And everybody get a nice, good screenshot of that. Without Ragnar, this is where you're at. Okay, does that make sense for everybody? Great. Let's go to the next one. You want to run Ragnar with 3 marches. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, okay? And I ran this a lot, and this is an easy way to do this. We're going to keep Guan and CPO right here, okay? We're going to have Wallace, and here we go. Or we're going to have Luce, and we're going to bring our boy Alex with him. Too many synergies with these 2. It's too good of a march. And no matter how powerful one march is for infantry, even Ragnar CPO, this hangs with just about everything. The Luce Alex hangs with just about everything. And that's the 3 marches I would go with. If you're an infantry player and you don't have Ragnar yet, that's what you run. That's what you run straight up, and you're going to do some crazy, crazy damage, okay? So get a good picture of that. And then we'll bring everybody back down here. Pull this down, pull Gorgo down. Okay, so the next one we're going to go to is no Wallace. You don't have William Wallace, you're going to run 2 marches. Okay, now I'm going to assume if you're more on the skill damage path, you don't have Wallace, you are going to get Ragnar. Okay, so that's real easy. If you're going to go get Ragnar, this is a real easy setup. If you don't have William Wallace and I highly advise you to go get Ragnar if you're an infantry player. Run him with CPO, gonna be the best march in the game. Okay, and then you make it easy. You put Luce up there with Alex. There you go. Easy cheesy. 2 marches. You don't have William Wallace. That's how you run. Okay, so let's go to the next one. No Wallace, 3 marches. Okay. So if you go no William Wallace and you're going to run 3 marches, you're going to set it up just like this, but this is how I would do it. You put Guan here, you run Ragnar behind him, you move Alex up, and then you run a march that is still busted good, guys. Gorgo with Luce. It's fantastic. It is really good. That's what you run if you do not have William Wallace, okay? And that is going to be a massive upgrade. Ragnar is going to bring Guan back into the fold here on a big time scale. A lot of people said, hey, is Ragnar, in many cases, you run 2 marches, Ragnar is going to replace Guan. Guan is going to retire. However, you're running 3 marches, you can put Ragnar behind Guan, and he's going to give Guan some life, y'all, because you get to keep the silence in play. And now he's got a bunch of tankiness from Ragnar, and he does a lot of different things. And all of a sudden now this becomes back to being a really, really good march. And I always tell people this with Alex, just remember what's going on with Alex here, okay? And we'll talk about that just in a few. We're going to talk about another museum buff for him, and then what's going to happen with the next infantry commander, okay? So what's the next thing we're going to go do? Top 1 march, we went through that, so everything is going to be, as I said, exactly how you need to do it. Now, here's what's interesting about Alexander the Great, okay? Alexander the Great, from that standpoint, is you get yourself into a situation to where, let's see, let's move this here, we'll do this, there we go. All right. You get yourself with Alexander the Great. I made a comment that, hey, if you're going to invest and actually fight a little bit in K2, go get Alexander the Great. And the reason why is because he transitions into the late game, and you can have fun with him and do a lot of damage in K2 and K3, but then you can also use him in the late game. Here's what's going to happen, okay? Infantry is going to come after cavalry as far as the 10th generation commanders go. It's going to be sometime in the spring. When they do, they're going to come out with a garrison and a field commander. This is infantry. Okay, and when they come out with a garrison and field commander, the odds are they're going to make the field commander a smite commander. And that smite commander, I think, is going to be built with William Wallace. Okay, so if they put out a field smite commander, you're going to run William Wallace with them. And then guess what? You've got Luce and you got Alex. Okay, and if you got Luce and Alex, then all of a sudden Alex is back into play. And all of a sudden, you're looking at 3 marches. If you're going to run it, it's going to get pretty crazy for infantry players. So Alex is going to be in play, guys, whether you like it or not. I mean, he's going to be in play. He does too much good stuff. And this is the other thing with Alex that people forget about, okay? You got to see these commanders here where you've got somebody like YSG with 3 relics, okay? At some point, this boy is going to get a 3rd relic. And when he does, they're going to increase the defense, and they're going to increase the normal damage reduction based on what they've done with 3rd relics and 2nd relics and how they increase these things. So if he gets another 5% defense, and then that bumps to 10% normal reduction, Alex is going to be really, really good. And so do not, if you are going to invest sculptures and green or gold heads into commanders in K2 and K3, don't be afraid to do it with Alex. If you're going to do it, he's probably the best guy to do it with. You can check out that video I've done before just on, hey, commanders, I reach SOC, what do I do? And I kind of get on my soapbox a little bit about how you need to look at trying to play the game competitively in K1 and 2 to really kind of prep you for K3 and then into Season of Conquest. But those are all your marches. That's how this thing's going to lay out. It's pretty simple and easy, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time. But just remember, infantry is about to be in its heyday. Okay, because when they launch this dude, and I'm telling you right now, when they launch this guy, he gets in the game, he is going to be the best march in the game with CPO in the field. Just that's the way it's going to be. He's going to be the best march in the game with CPO in the field, and that's just my personal opinion. If Luce and if you put Ragnar with Luce, that's going to be busted good too. You just miss synergies there because you're either going to go arch formation, or you're going to go skill or wedge formation, and one or two of them is they both can't have the same buffs from the armaments. That's why I say this guy with CPO, look out. Because that thing, I cannot wait to run that thing, and I'm going to run it to death nonstop. Just run it into the ground nonstop. He is so busted, guys. You guys don't understand. This is Nevsky level type stuff, okay? He's going to transcend. You will not regret putting any kind of gold heads into this guy. He's going to be around for years in this game. I'm just telling you. It's going to be the same thing with Nevsky, where Nevsky is still one of the best cav commanders and still one of the best commanders in the game, and he came out like 3 years ago. That's the way Ragnar's going to be, okay? So just get ready when he comes. It's going to be a heyday for infantry. Sorry, cav players. Sorry, archer players. Running 3 infantry marches is going to be wild. And it's going to be really, really good. It's going to be fast. It's going to be tanky. All 3 of them. They're going to do crazy. They're going to do different stuff and crazy stuff. Okay, and then those of you who kind of ask me how I run my infantry and how I have done it before, let me tell you. Typically, when I do my infantry, I am such a smite guy, okay? So this is what I run for my infantry. I run 3 marches in infantry, okay? And this is what I'm going to run, all right? First and foremost, I'm going to run CPO with Ragnar, okay? And then I like to run all 4 smite commanders, all right? I know it sounds crazy, but I like to run all 4 smite commanders. So I run Luce, and I also run CPO Emilianus, okay? And you might say, what are you doing, Chatsky? You could easily like just throw Alex in there and put Gorgo behind William Wallace, but there's a reason why I do this, and it's very unique, okay? And people ask me all the time, why do you do it that way? Well, let me kind of explain to you, okay? This is why I run it the way I do, okay? So when I go to my Attila, I like to run in 3 calves, okay? Well, I have 2 great skill damage marches for my cav commanders, but my 3rd march is kind of, what do? XY? You know, it's just tough for cavalry. I've got this stuff right here, okay? And I probably won't even run destructive. I'll put something else in that slot. But this is the stuff that I like to run, okay? And when I have Attila Takeda, I run that. And the reason why I run Takeda, even to today, like I know it's old, and it's like, dude, that's so dated, but this is why I run it, okay? And mark my words, if they come out with infantry commanders, another smite field commander, you're gonna see more Takedas in the field. And this is the reason why. You put the burn effect on, the target takes 50% more normal damage. When I ran this in KVK with 3 infantry marches, and 2 of those infantry marches were full smite, okay? So I had 4 hard-hitting smite commanders. When I ran Takeda with that fired off about once every 6 seconds. Every time I would count up, it'd be like 6 to 7 seconds. And the majority of time, over 50% of the time, that would fire off when one of my smite commanders is firing off. And you want to talk about kaboom? Like, you're going to see red numbers that are like, holy cow, whether Gorgo hits, whether CPO Emilianus, 2,700 damage factor, holy cow, whether that hits, whether William Wallace hits, whether Luce hits, doesn't matter. They all do massive damage. And when that thing would fire off while the burn effect is on, GG. Okay, so this is a massive smite amplifier, okay? And we all know that Attila and Takeda always trades pretty well, especially the gear and armaments that I've got. It does really, really well. So that's just a little bonus for you. If you want to go full smite and you've got some good arch stuff for cavalry, you can still run Attila Takeda and get really good value out of Takeda to help your smite marches. So with that being said, that's what it is, y'all, on the infantry marches for November of 2024 and Ragnar coming into the game. That is where we're at right now with your infantry. If you enjoyed the video, throw a thumbs up on it, okay? Subscribe, join my Discord. I'll have the description in the link, or I'll have the link to the Discord in the description, and you guys can come check it out, come talk to me, come tell me what I got right, what I got wrong. It's all great. It's all a game, and you guys know me. I love it, and I love playing, and I love debating about this stuff, and appreciate everybody for everything that they've done. And with that being said, you guys have a great day, broskies.